Greetings and salutations, everybody. It's Saturday afternoon. We're back with another episode of Land of the Shattered Star, 5th edition D&D campaign. Hooray!
Yay!
Hooray!
We're recording
One
this live.
take, Peter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one take. Yes, I did not just push stop streaming
Yeah.
instead of start recording. That is correct.
Yeah,
I would never do that again.
Everything has gone exactly according to plan.
I've not done that multiple times in my years of running streams, running D&D streams and such. Oh God, and I will almost certainly do this again at some point because the buttons are right next to each other in OBS. What can I say? So, anyways, for those of you who are new, we're listening on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. We record this live on twitch.tv/MechaGM Saturday afternoons. If you want to catch us live, that's where to catch it. Otherwise, enjoy the show. So last time we left off, you guys had decided to go deal with the situation involving the nearby village that had been taken over by a pirate crew, and were causing problems from the village you were currently staying in. Also, it would look good to the High Priestess coming to decide your ultimate fate. You know, you guys came out of Forbidden Temple. They might decide, you know what? Screw it. These guys are heretics. Let's throw them in a whirlpool. To be devoured by sea beasties.
To Shaboba! To anybody who's seen that movie.
To Ibalba.
Anywho, you guys had decided to go deal with the pirates. And
Yes.
You were attacked by raptors, dealt with a patrol of pirates quite thoroughly, and managed to negotiate with the rest of the crew because, it seemed like it was worth a try at a minimum. And lo and behold, they were more amenable than you might otherwise suspect. Also, they're not idiots.
All that we needed was a strong line of logic supporting our argument, and also someone that people like to listen to. So
Yeah, it does help that you had a bard.
That's why I had a head in a bag. That helps too.
Sure. Honestly, that would probably won you points to the captain.
I like your style.
See, no, not so much like your style, but yes, okay, they definitely can back up. This is not just carrot. There is stick. Okay, cool.
Captain just picks it up. There's the consequences of my actions.
At any rate, so, you guys talked with Captain Derlin, who is originally from Kardul. She is a tiefling. Mm-hmm. The crew is a fairly mixed bag, unsurprisingly, honestly.
Pirates, never.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that all you say.
They seem to, while they definitely have, you guys are going to, since it is late afternoon, early evening, it's probably not the best time to trek back to the previous village. I would say traveling through the jungles at night on this island is not the best of plans.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Nor we're taking a boat there, especially given that none of the boats here are like big. Are big.
Right.
Yeah.
They're boats, not ships.
Exactly.
Yeah, dealing with dinosaurs is one thing. At night, we have to deal with dinosaur muggers, and that's just even worse.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's like, well, like what's worse, dealing with the weather out there, the dinosaurs, just people. I'm not sure which one of those is the worst.
Listen, I'm terrified to go outside, as is. So you throw in dinosaurs, then ooh.
And then on top of that, possibly people riding the dinosaurs, and now.
Oh, well.
I don't want to go outside, but if there are people riding dinosaurs, that means there's a chance that I could be riding a dinosaur if I go outside. Which means I have to go to get exposed to fucking Daystar. Thanks a lot. I want to ride a dinosaur.
You have not yet seen anyone riding a dinosaur.
I'm sure that someone has tried.
Oh, sure. It turns out most dinosaurs are not particularly good at being domesticated.
Guess it's good to know that no high-level rangers have shown up on this island.
I guarantee you, there is a cage somewhere with a dinosaur that they only bring out when they're all really, really drunk, and they take turns trying to ride it, and it's just something they do to pass the time.
It's not a party unless someone gets mauled.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty much, yeah.
Now I'm just envisioning a group of shipwrecked dwarves with having gotten together and made Triceratops cavalry. Who needs lances?
I'm really just like it's like the equivalent of going to like a country western bar, and then there's the robotic bull, except it's an actual dinosaur.
At any rate, so the village is, while the villagers seem a little less, I'm trying to think of the right way to phrase this.
Welcoming?
No, they're not so much unwelcoming and less outgoing than the previous village.
A little bit more guarded.
Well,
they're under occupation. They've been under occupation. That tracks.
To a large degree, that's part of it. I mean, the pirate crew seems to treat them reasonably well, but it's very clear who's in charge. Or it's very clear, at least, who considers who in charge. And the answer to that is Captain Derlin.
Well, who else would it be?
Well, she's the captain. Of course she's in charge.
Mm.
If she doesn't have a ship to be in charge of, then goddamn it, this village will have to do.
You erect a sail here on the land.
Okay.
Yes. It's
Okay.
my ship now.
There is no sail erected, no. But at any rate, so yeah, you guys. Food is prepared, drink is served. It's similar to sort of it's similar to the stuff that Eric that you had on not the kelp stuff, but the other stuff. Which I forgot what it was. I forget the other thing they were brewing from. I'm blanking at the moment.
There was the kelp stuff. There was. It wasn't rum.
No, there isn't sugar cane here, or at least not visible.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like a berry thing or something?
It might have been. It was probably something like. It was probably fruit.
I thought it was like either like coconut based or something.
It was coconut based. That's it.
Coconut. That's what it was.
Fermented coconut water, milk. That's right. Thank you, Skitch. Well done. It's only been a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember things sometimes. At any rate, thankfully, other people can do that for me sometimes. Anyways, so yes, mostly it's the coconut stuff. The people here, the pirates know how to actually know how to distill stuff. It's a thing that you need to know how to do.
Mm.
So you need at least one person in your crew who knows how to distill basically anything.
Mm-hmm.
At any rate, so it's basically a party. It's definitely a lot rowdier than I know. Shock of shocks, the pirate crew having a rowdy party. I know. Who could have seen that coming? I'm okay. So the party gets the feast and such gets into full swing. Captain Derlin, of course. You, what was your name again? She says, pointing over at Sito.
I am Sito, songstress of the sea.
I rather guessed that. You any good with that that thing on your back?
You know, a bit. And she'll pull it out and play a single but not exactly simple strum.
Excellent. We could use different music, honestly.
What did you have in mind?
Something that can be danced to, but ideally, but whatever strikes your fancy. Just no sea
All right,
shanties.
then.
Please, no sea shanties.
Oh.
Okay, in the corner, there's a pirate with like an accordion, just kind of looking like
Oh.
aww.
And then it goes, yeah, exactly.
Oh, damn it. Those aren't. Oh, damn it. I know what those are properly
Concertina.
called.
Concertina.
Concertina. Yeah, that's it. It's like, that's not an accordion. I know enough that annoys me.
Polka. You should play a polka. That way the guy with the concertina can join in anyway.
And
Yes.
then it goes, pretty.
Cito is going to kind of go through a few different chords from different styles, and will kind of eventually settle on something that is kind of the tune of flamenco.
Okay. That works. It's different.
It's something you can dance to.
Yes. And again, different.
Yes.
And here is, of course, watching and enjoying the show, as always.
After about a year of sea shanties, you get sick of them.
Or you grow to like them a whole lot, which is not the case here.
They like them fine, but variety is not a bad thing in music.
True.
Or many other things, honestly. So, there's music playing. There is food to be had. The local cooks are pretty good, honestly. They make do with what they've got. I mean, there's only so much you can do with the locally sort of procured vegetation. And there's only so much variation you can get out of locally grown vegetation and fish.
Yeah.
There aren't a lot of other options in the area, since nobody really seems to be like. I guess you could go hunting dinosaurs for food, but like that seems a lot riskier than fishing. Like a lot riskier.
Also, like,
I imagine they're
if
really
you're gonna cook on
gamey.
a pirate ship, you better be good at improvising your meals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a fair bit of variety, but there's a lot of fish and local vegetation, local vegetable stuff, and fruit, and coconut. You better like coconut. Oh, and salt. There's plenty. Salting things is not a problem. Also,
Yeah.
it's very easy to acquire salt when you're right next to the fucking ocean.
Yeah. You get it as a byproduct of producing fresh water.
Yes. As a matter of fact, yes.
Shocking.
But yeah, if there's anything you'd like to do during the party, let me know.
During the whole thing,
We should dance.
Oh, the rest of you can dance. I have no left feet.
Fair point.
You left them behind.
Cameron is probably just engaging in card games for those that are not dancing.
Oh, if you want to find card games, you can find card games.
Oh, yeah, Cameron's running a card game.
All
He's
right.
using his own deck for that matter.
You're playing in quite possibly the most crooked card game you have ever played in, and you gamble routinely with Glicks.
Uh-huh.
Because everybody's cheating, and that's kind of the point.
Yeah, I figured as such.
How card games are supposed to work. And I'll be joining in, assuming I get shot down. If I don't, I'll have better things to do.
You get shot down.
That didn't take long.
Well, are you?
Well, that's what I say. That's what I say. But
He's definitely hitting on the captain.
All right. Well, all right. Derlin looks you up and down. Well, you're not my type, but I could stand a different dance partner. Sure.
Awesome. We dance.
Oh, she's dancing with the lonely 12-year-old.
I'm pretty sure
I'm not lonely. I am 12.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure engineers over there are dancing with everybody else.
Please.
It is.
I'm popular.
But yes, it is the dancing is a little awkward given that she's not quite twice your height.
Oh, Glix knows how to fix that. Are you kidding? He's done this before.
I figure he has, but it's still a little awkward. She's not. I mean, she's fairly tall for a tiefling. So, and you are a goblin, so
right.
This can be worked around. It has been done so on many occasions.
Probably from both directions.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the captain is not going to turn down dance. The captain doesn't generally turn down. She doesn't generally turn down dance options. Largely due to the fact that it's a good way to keep the crew entertained and motivated.
Mm.
Oh, and she's definitely leading.
I mean, yeah, I would just watch her stab someone. She can do whatever she wants.
I will say she actually is one of the few people who actually knows how to dance to a flamenco. Everyone else is sort of like adapting things they know.
Kind of worldly.
Yes.
The devil, you say?
Yeah.
I settled on that one for a reason.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, she's Glix. She is actually very good at. She's actually good at adapt. It takes a little bit, as I said. It's a little awkward at first, but the two of you actually adapt to each other's the height difference fairly quickly. If you want to give me, I guess, do you have performance, Eric?
I don't, but that doesn't mean I'm bad at it.
Give me a performance check then. Dex based, obviously. Well, actually,
yeah.
whichever you prefer. Dex
or I'm better at charisma, actually.
Yeah.
It just occurred to me. It's like, wait, no, it's a charisma skill, and normally, and okay.
I'm good.
Oh my god!
23 from Glix, and I forgot to change scenes. Hang on a second.
Glix just breaks out a blend of flamenco and breakdancing.
I don't know what her expectations of this were, but I think you exceeded them. So good job.
Did. She is actually legitimately impressed that someone can keep up with her.
Glix literally has like the little hand tambourines for this. A rose appears in his mouth.
Yeah, he takes her hands and he's like, oh wait, hold on a second. Turns around, comes back, a rose is there.
he turns his hat inside out. It's black and it's got those little dangly things.
And
Shida will throw in one of those.
She very quickly realizes that A, Glix knows what he's doing. B, he's very good at it. And C, oh wow, she's going to have some fun with this. Not very long after this, after you guys start getting going, most of the other dancing couples have stopped dancing and have basically formed a circle around the two of you and are clapping in time with the rhythm.
Oh, we're going to put on a show.
Oh, absolutely. You are, Eric, you rolled a 23, you are putting on a show.
It is a performance check.
This is, it is, the crew may not know, most of the crew may not know flamenco, but the beat is not hard to pick up, and they understand that. And there are a few who do actually know what's going on with it. It has gotten the attention of, even Cameron, even the people at your table are sort of every now and then glancing over and going, huh, look at that.
Cool. That means they're distracted.
Yes.
Do I get advantage of my slide?
You get an advantage on your next sleight of hand check. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Sweet. Should I roll that now just for the hell of it?
Go for it.
All right. Let's see here. Yeah, 16.
16.
So it's good.
That's okay. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You managed to utterly dominate the next 5 hands or something or other. And the reaction most people are going, "Wow, this is kind of." Oh fuck! He got us while we were looking at the dance. God, that's our fault.
I expect a cut when this is over.
You expect a cut.
Glix twirls by the card table. And is like,
no. You're
20% of that's mine. Twirl, twirl, twirl.
You're already cutting something. All right. So
hey.
So I'm going to cut as you out of whatever I earned out of this. So.
Oh. Infighting.
But yes, and the dance between Glix and the captain ends with a dramatic flourish because it's a flamenco, so of course it ends with a dramatic fucking flourish.
Mm-hmm.
And then she dips him.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I'm down for that.
She bursts out into laughter, gives a deep bow to Glix, and then to Sito. Okay, that was more fun than I was anticipating.
Lots of fun things we can do tonight.
Dream on, Glix, dream on.
But you could make my dreams come true.
Persistent, but no.
Well, I'm just gonna go and help my friend fleece your crew then.
Oh. Please do. It will be hilarious. If you're even half as good at that as you are at dancing, this should be hilarious.
Even better. And should you change your mind, I am available for the evening.
I appreciate the sentiment, Glix.
Here is my business card.
And now I'm going to go sit down and have, oh God, more coconut rum. Okay. We need to find something else to distill other than kelp here.
You do things with mushrooms if you know what you're doing. I don't. I know people who do.
I've had that before. It's not the best. You'd think the berries that grow here distill well. They don't. I don't know why. I think they're too acidic.
I once knew a guy who distilled something out of blood. It was disgusting.
Why would you do that?
He was crazy.
That would be why.
I thought you were going to say he lost a bet.
Well, it's good to know that everyone in the party is great at parties. Anyway, Kali is not doing anything. She is actually going to be trying to talk to some of the locals about events here and how things are going, and about those people that they killed when they took over. So,
all right. Well, you are able, if you would like to, you can talk to the previous village elder.
That sounds good.
All right.
Like a place to start.
He is not a young man, shall we say. Yes, please sit, please sit. Is there something you wish to discuss?
I suppose just the general state of things here. We have come to an agreement, as you may have heard.
Yes.
As there is, in the background and such. But Kali will take a seat with him. And she'll say, as glad as I am that we have managed to come to a peaceful agreement, because I believe that it is, for now, the best thing that can be done. I do understand that there are things that this does not repair.
Yes, that is true. Some of those things are things that cannot be easily repaired, shall we say. But, I will say Captain Riddlin has been less of an issue than I anticipated she was going to be when they arrived.
Being a more tolerant tyrant does not negate the fact that she is still a tyrant.
I would agree.
That being said, the only means that I see of removing her for now would simply cause more unnecessary suffering on all fronts.
I would agree.
If that can be avoided, then that is what we must do.
Well, the steps that you have taken, convincing her to negotiate with the other village is a step that might get her to loosen her grip a bit, maybe? I don't know. If she's more, I have a feeling if she feels more secure in her position of leadership, she might loosen things up a bit. But I'm not sure. I don't have a good read on the woman. She is a
I
pirate.
understand that. I understand that there were some who stepped forward to challenge her first mate.
Yes.
And I understand what has become of them.
Yeah.
Or at least I believe I do.
They lost in. They lost in a. They each lost in individual duels with him, which were. They pressed the issue enough to make it duels to the death. They figured that if they could kill the first mate, they might break the pirate's spirit or something. Barnes seemed to be willing to let it go, let things go with first blood, but I don't think that the members of the town watch that challenged him. A, they underestimated his skill with the blade. B, I don't think they. Given that we're dealing with pirates, I don't think they believed he meant it when he said that. Having gotten to talk to the man for the past few months, I think he did. He is definitely less draconian than the captain. But, he definitely respects and... it's very clear he respects and likes working with her, despite her... She's very tolerant until she's not, basically.
There
are lines that you don't cross, is the impression I've gotten with her.
See. One of us will have to keep that in mind at least, then. What has been done to those who stepped forward to challenge Barnes since they met their end?
Well, we followed as best we could the burial ceremonies of the faiths they belong to. We have one of the townsmen was a novice in the church of in Ignea's church before she got stranded here. So she's the closest thing we have to local clergy. She's done her best learning up the traditions of the other faiths in town. So she did the best that she was able. They've been either buried or, again, depends on what faith. Most of them were followers of Ignea also, so that was easy. She knew the rites proper. They got their place on the pyre, and ashes were scattered. The others depended on the other two depended on their one was hang on, let me get my list here. One was once originally for Cardul and was a follower of the Nameless King. I believe they were buried outside of town, following the usual traditions there. And the other was a follower of Oceana. They were buried at sea. Again, as per tradition.
At least that has been done then for them. My duty as a traveler and follower of Mortis is to see that the dead are looked to properly, as are their families and loved ones. At the very least, if they met their fate suddenly, then... It is a shame that they did not truly understand what they were getting into, though.
Well, yeah. I warned them that it was probably a bad idea, but
You seem not so. The term that I believe that I would apply to you is not so much resigned as accepting of the current condition of things.
Well, as I said, Derlin has been better than I expected. And I will grant that her crew has provided excellent protection from the local beasties. They've done a very good job. They've done a better job than than most of our watchmen could to defending the town. And they've been. As much as it irks me to say this, she's done a very good job at making sure that the rest of the village feels like that this is all one community somehow. I think she sort of decided that everyone here is part of her crew now.
Kala is going to look over to where the captain and Glix are dancing, and she's going to say, "She does seem to have that sort of effect on people."
Oh, she is decidedly. She is a force of personality, among other things.
At the tiefling having a high charisma score, that I'll use that.
Shocking. So. And she's it's very clear she's used to being in charge, and not just because she was a captain of her own ship. I get the impression her family was something of import back in Kardul, though she doesn't talk much about her past very much.
Well, I cannot fault her for that. Well, I suppose then that we will carry on with our current means of addressing this situation.
Oh, sure.
But if there is any other way that I can help your community, do not hesitate to ask. It is, I believe, the reason that I am here.
Well, normalizing relations with Karahuta is definitively a first step in the right direction. Trade between them and us was working pretty well, and raiding them has not gone as well as Captain Derlin probably would like. I think it's just it's a case of she's been a pirate for long enough that she thinks in those terms first. I've been trying to nudge her. I'm an old man. I have no kids, so having someone to take over the village is not a bad thing. And if I can nudge her in the right direction, maybe she'll be a decent leader long term.
Perhaps.
And if not, well, we'll see. I appreciate the offer of help, though. Believe me. And I will keep that in mind.
Well, we will see how things go. As it stands, while things seem like they may work out now, these are not the only egos at work.
No, of course not.
Kali will get up at that point and thank him for speaking with her. And then she's going to just kind of mosey around, kind of see if she can get impressions from more like the person on the street as opposed to
absolutely. If you'd like to keep
the old guy trying to keep everyone alive. So
fair. You give me an insight check if you'd like for that. This is a way to sort of
it's
unless you've got a skill you'd rather use that might be better.
No, it's going to be that.
Okay. I figured it might be, but
yeah, it's not even a very good roll.
Actually, you know what's Nick? I'm going to give you advantage on this one because you had so long talking to the village elder.
Okay, I'll do another roll then.
Yep, 13. Okay.
All right, that's better. So
yeah, it's a thoroughly average roll for you, actually.
It is, yes.
Yeah, the impression you're getting is most of the villagers, most of the non-pirate crew villagers, all of them. The big thing is this is a village of people who really didn't feel like they fit in with Karahuta. They all, so it's a very eclectic village to begin with. It's a lot of people from different cultures and communities, and none of them really felt like they fit in with Karahuta. So the fact that they've got a bunch of pirates here is not as much of a problem. It's mostly like the impression you're getting from sort of listening and talking to people is like the guys who challenged Barnes were sort of the more overtly aggressive types who, ain't nobody can take our authority away from us. Oh crap.
Gotcha. So everyone else who's left is cool with pirates. So all right,
not cool with it, but they're like, could be worse.
Could be worse.
All right.
It's like it's a case of pirates are jerks in general. This particular pirate crew is at least tolerable.
Okay, no, that's all right. I live in Tampa. I know what that means. We have an annual festival about how cool pirates are. So,
Yar.
It's yes, they're crooks and they are a bit casual with the violence, but but like the pirate crew seems to have sort of like accept. It's the impression you're getting is you're also getting this from the pirates. You get a bit from the pirates. They very much most of them have bought into Durlin's sort of thing. Yeah, the villagers are now my crew. So yeah, she'll accept scuffling amongst crewmates, but like actually like unless there's a really good reason, outright thuggery and robbery from crewmates is verboten.
Gotcha.
Unless there's a really good reason.
All right, what is going on here? Look, we thought it would be really funny. Okay.
It's a very good reason.
Revenge is an acceptable reason.
Right, sure.
Oh yeah. No, this fucker stole my rum. Oh, well, kick his ass then.
Rum's pretty hard to
You
get
had
by
rum?
over here, so
What
yeah.
the hell?
I'm using yes. So let's see. Injir, what are you up to?
Injir is enjoying the party because Injir doesn't really need to be doing anything else right now. Like, as far as he's concerned, everything's worked out like it should.
Okay. Well, you definitely find various people to enjoy the party with. The pirate crew are particularly jubilant because, hey, a party. We only have those every one. We only have these once a week or so.
Yeah, like Injir is going full Ji Wong. He's just like he's got his little wine jug out. He's got his van out. He is enjoying the party.
Excellent.
I will say that through all of this, Cito is trying to talk up Barnes while performing the various pieces, and also after a bit when the exciting moment of dancing kind of dies down a little. She shifts more over towards like a mariachi style.
Okay. All right. Well, if you wish to engage with Barnes, he will wander by at some point. Also, Jackhammer.
Good evening. Oh yeah. Good evening there, first mate.
Miss Ito?
Seems the accord has been well received, or at least as well as one might expect.
It's a good first step, I would agree. The captain seemed open to it, so I'm glad to see that.
I'm glad to be able to provide a good performance. I hope everyone appreciates it.
They seem to be.
Indeed.
You are very talented, and it is also a welcome change in styles.
Say, I've never heard a lute do that before.
I actually have a guitar.
I've never heard a guitar do that before.
Play free.
Now I have thunder magic, not electric magic. I can't do that kind of guitar.
But yes, it is. I would like to see things resolved with a minimum of bloodshed on both sides, honestly.
Appreciable.
Given that given the nature of what we face on this island, I have a feeling that long term it's beneficial. It definitely will be beneficial to have something resembling allies, or at least non-enemies nearby.
Indeed.
Given about
Tell me.
about a third of the species that live here are actually predatory.
Right. So tell me, First Mate Barnes,
Yes.
how'd you come to be involved with this crew? I imagine you have quite the tale.
Well, I mean, I've been a sailor out in the seas for most of my adult life. My ship I served as sort of a sort of a sailor and sword arm on a merchantman that was taken by a pirate ship, and I fought well enough and did well enough that I impressed the captain, and they gave me the option to join the crew, or if I'd prefer living to going overboard. So I took it.
Right. For the way that you're speaking, it doesn't sound like you're describing the current captain.
Oh no, I'm not. No, that was the previous. That was her ship. The ship that she took. She took over that ship. Basically.
From within or without?
Oh, from without.
Oh.
Yeah, we took her. She was captaining a small merchant ship of some sort that we decided to take. That was out of Kardul. And well, her ship couldn't handle us, but she demanded a duel with the captain, and if she won, she took his ship. The captain didn't think she. The captain was an overconfident swordsman in general, but he was very good. She was better. A lot better.
Hubris.
Yes. Also, she when she
drilled into him like a jackhammer, I take it.
She's an extremely competent swordswoman, and she knows how to fence. And
properly trained is the feel I'm getting about it.
Yes. And I get the feeling her family was at least somewhat high up in Kardul, and she got the proper training. Even if she's I get the impression she's something of a black sheep.
Right.
Even before all of this. But yeah, she killed the captain, and when the previous she seemed like a decent sort, and when the previous first mate just basically tried to bushwhack her, I took him out, and she made me her first mate.
Sounds like you two get along rather well.
Yes, actually, she's an interesting woman, and we don't always see eye to eye on things. She's a little more stern when it comes to discipline than I'd like, but I understand why, given the type of crew given that not everyone in the crew has exactly the same level of willingness to
diplomacy.
Follow orders. Well, there's that too, yes. But it's a pirate crew. There are some genuinely bad eggs in there, like even for pirates.
Of course.
So you have to ride them hard, or they can get out of hand.
Understandable. That gentleman from earlier seemed a prime example.
He was one of the more. He's definitely was one of the more simultaneously violent and stupid members of the crew.
So nothing of value was lost.
Well, he was a competent swordsman. That there is use for that, and he was a very good sailor, honestly.
All right, fair enough.
But he's a goddamn idiot. He was a goddamn idiot. At any rate, yeah, the captain's. She's something of the mind that unless she's taking, she generally will. She's one of the few pirate captains I've seen who. She generally, if a ship surrenders to her, she will generally she will generally make sure that she'll let that crew live. In general, it's you fight back is when you're if you fight back as a prize, that's when you're likely to get your heads taken.
Right. Sounds reasonable.
Yeah. Well, there are plenty of pirate captains who are a little bit less. A little bit more bloodthirsty, shall we say. Most of them, from my experience.
Oh, certainly.
She's of the mind that, if you wipe out a surrendering merchantman crew, then you're not going to have a chance to raid them again in future.
Very true.
Shear the sheep
they're supposed
to kill them for their mutton.
They're also not going to go about and sing and herald your greatness.
That's less of a concern for her. It's more of a practical thing, I think.
I
mean, which is why she's very. That's the reason she's very, very insistent that if you fight back, then you're probably sunk. She's again lines that she doesn't like crossed.
Right.
I think it's a case of if you surrender, that's one thing. If you fight back, well, she's got to make an example of you to point out why it's a bad idea to fight back.
It sounds to me like there's an order to things that she believes in, and acting outside of that order is not particularly appreciated.
That's not inaccurate, but there's a level of pragmatism to it as well, I think.
Oh, certainly.
That's the reading of it I've gotten from her over the past several years. But she's generally very fair with the crew, unless they step out of line.
I've come to gather. The ones that we encountered in the forest. It seems, I wouldn't say afraid of her, more that they seem to respect her enough that they didn't want to act against her intentions or wishes.
Oh yeah, well, that's a good chunk of it. There are members of the crew who are terrified of her. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, I believe it.
Hell,
I wouldn't want to fence with her.
Don't blame you.
The only duel I would have with her would be with an instrument.
You'd probably win that one. She doesn't play. Apparently that's one of the things her family was most disappointed in about her. She had no interest in actually learning how to play any instruments.
No interest at all. Huh. All
Wasn't her thing. She likes dancing.
Fair enough.
But, yeah.
Well, she'll beat me at dancing any day.
I mean, what do you do?
On land, I guess. I suppose, at least.
Oh, underwater, that's not fair. She wouldn't even breathe.
I mean, what does one do with a kid that won't just bang their head all day long?
Well, I got to get circling around to the rest of to keep an eye on some of the crew. So, a good thing to chat to you. We'll probably have more time to talk later.
Sounds good. Enjoy the evening.
I will. All right, Cameron.
Yes.
You continue your cards.
Yep.
Anything you want to be doing while you're playing cards, in addition to fleecing. You should give me a sleight of hand roll with it. You already gave me that one. Never mind. All right. You're 16.
If you want me to do more sleight of hand rolls, I
will
can.
probably let you at some point, but right now you don't need to. Mm-hmm. Is there anything you'd like to do while you're playing? While you're taking money away from the pirates?
Mm-hmm.
And one villager who at first seems like he's very naive and lost, but you realize he's actually pretty good at playing the idiot. He's actually a much better player. He's much better at both gambling and cheating than he lets on.
Mm-hmm. So, let's see here. Cameron's going to probably pursue questions about the ruins.
Fair enough.
if any of the pirates know any more details about the ruins, if anyone has heard stories about people who've gone in there, things along those lines.
The ruins. Yeah, there's at least one that's only about a day and a half's travel from here if you go go inland. There are apparently more further inland that are bigger and more impressive. The one we got to in there was it was a big ruined temple-y thing. I don't know much about it beyond. None of us are historians, or anything like
right. I mean, sure. I mean, that stands to reason.
But we found a few, like there was a we nicked a few choice items from there while we were there before.
No.
Nothing particularly exciting. A couple of decent knives, some bits and bobs of that were a nice little sort of bit of a candelabra thing that was made of gold.
Yeah.
There was a pretty decent looking sort of a scepter-y macy thing with what looked like a snake woman coiled around the head.
Yeah, sure, obviously.
That I think that the captain claimed, and she's got it on her mantle, but in her cottage. But yeah, we didn't find much. There's probably more stuff there that's be of more interest to. That we didn't explore the temple too fully because it was getting late and we wanted to be able to get back without getting et.
Yeah. Sure.
And we didn't feel like camping in the temple. It felt wrong to do so at the time. There's something about the place. But there was the one thing we did notice in there, actually, there was a fresco on one of the walls that looked like it was a map of the island at the time. That I don't know how accurate it is now, but there were lots of little bigger sort of. It looked like it was sort of roughly shaped like what we have a feeling the island's shaped like from what we've seen of it, and so we can identify where the coast is and that we're on. And we could guess roughly that the temple there was a bit there that looked like a "you are here" bit on a map.
Okay.
That sort of jived with roughly where we were in relation to the village back here. And then there were a bunch of other structures on the building, and there's a big, huge mountain in the middle, which roughly equivalent to the volcano up there. The other mountain ranges here and there. But it looked like there was a pretty good. I don't know how accurate it is now, but it looks like it was probably accurate at the time, or at least roughly so.
Yeah, I wonder how old those frescoes and stuff could be, but
they're pretty old. It was we had to brush a bunch of lichen and shit off of it, moss and stuff. We saw part of it underneath the moss, brushed the moss off, and we were able to. Hey, look, that looks like a map.
It's like a map. Okay, interesting. Yeah, like he's just sort of like trying to see fish. Like, okay, what could be of interest there? Like. The staff is one of those things like, given the last temple, we might need that staff to get off this island. Potentially. Not guaranteed, but potentially. This was like him thinking in his own head. Like if this was like in the adaptation, there'd be like a reverb on his voice. He's saying like, we're going to need, if that staff is like the other island, we're going to need it to get off of this one. How's that going to work? And then then we cut back to,
why does my own head sound like this? Hello.
That's right. It needs. It needs to be this. It needs to have this much space for all the brilliance I have in here. Obviously.
That's right. Yes,
that's right.
Clearly.
But Cameron, that just gets back to like just grifting the people at the table as well as he can.
All right. I imagine at some point Glick shows up.
Oh yeah.
Like Glick's to show up, and Cameron's just like, "Welcome to the table."
So what's the
do you want
game?
to use your deck? Do you want to use your deck, or should we continue with mine? Oh, that's a trick question. We'll just continue with mine. Don't worry about it, Glix.
Oh, don't you worry. I had some fun for the night. Here to blow off some steam.
I see. All right. Well,
the pirates at the table all basically sort of they have sort of a wry chuckle. It's make sure you have this room for you. You get some nods of appreciation for your dancing skills. because you clearly got him.
All right.
But yes,
but yeah,
All
I will
about
say
presentation, guys.
I will also say, Glix, you notice that they are playing for actual money as far as you're concerned.
Oh, thank fucking Gork.
yeah, actual quote unquote money, whatever the hell this stuff is.
Like there are Eric, there are not only silver pieces on the table, there are a couple of gold coins on the table.
All right. Well, okay then.
We're talking
Real
pirates
money.
here. They actually do have actual money.
Well, we should have killed everyone.
I mean, like again, Cameron's just going to continue running the table as well as he can. So
There are shiny gold coins on the table. I want them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys should both give me new sleight of hand checks.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, that is a botch on Cameron's part, and I don't have any means of recovering
Only
from
mediocre
that.
from Glix.
Mm-hmm.
It's the part where all the extra cards fly out of your sleeve.
No, it's not that bad, but like, it's very. The tables have turned to actually the gormless villager sitting at the table who looks like he knows nothing about what he's doing. Glix, currently. Yes, Wordy. I know you might throw something mechanically in here, but I want to get this out first.
Sure.
For at least a little while, the gormless idiot at the table is winning. He is clearly getting very lucky, Glix.
Cameron's okay with this. As long as it's not one of the pirates, he's fine with it.
Dude stole my gold coins that I was going to rightfully steal.
And he's playing just completely wrong. Like
There are at least 6 aces on the table from 3 different decks. No one's called anyone on that yet.
I know. I like to think of it as like, it's like he's playing blackjack. He has 21, and he has hit me, and somehow doesn't bust. Like I don't know how the fuck that
the
works.
Joker comes out that was never shuffled into the deck.
It's like what the hell is that? That's not even in the deck.
A minute, that's the rules card.
That's the. Oh shit, man.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's a rookie Babe Ruth card. How'd you get that?
That's why they're getting all the money.
I don't know. Nine isn't a very hard card, but I got 4 of them. Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had 2, but 4 beats 2.
No. See, you got too many 9s here. Here, we'll get these cards. You get 3 fresh ones. Here you go. Much better.
Well,
yeah,
that
ends up giving a 4 of a kind to the king in his hands. Like, what?
It's like, oh man, all I got was a straight flush. No, you fucking idiot, that's a royal flush. Oh, well, I guess I won then.
But yeah,
it's like I got it straight, but by accident, all the cards are the same suit. What the fuck is this? Do you even know what the rules are?
It's a case of he seems like he doesn't know what the rules are, and he's just his luck is too good. Eric, you were allowed to both of you were allowed to give me an insight check at this point.
Mm-hmm.
In this moment, the music takes a bit of a different shift, and Glix is going to feel a little inspired.
Hooray.
Oh yeah, Cameron, you now that you're paying attention, it's like, oh, he's just acting. He's good. He knows what the fuck he's doing, and he's cheating. He's just good. He's actually just good at it. You just bought his act for a little bit too long. At a guess, he's probably he's probably the original village card shark that no one wanted to play with.
Cameron's gonna try to help him.
Glix, he's getting you are. It's like, okay, he's gotten too lucky too long. He must be cheating. I don't see how he's cheating, but he must be.
Yeah.
And
so yeah, like
the impression is like he's either a complete idiot who's getting stupidly lucky, or he's one of the best card sharks you've seen.
Well, now it's a challenge.
You guys are allowed to give me new sleights of hand rolls if you'd like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cameron is.
And how does inspiration work? Do I add D8 to that?
Roll a d6 and add it to it.
Yeah. Any losses that Cameron has, he's using to aid the card
enough.
shark.
And so 17.
17.
Yeah.
All right, Glix, you're able to stabilize completely against him. You're not taking a lot away from him, but you are winning slightly against him and rooking the rest of the table.
Do I get one of those gold coins you won before?
He eventually breaks one of them to make change. Yes, sure. Why
Okay. Excellent. That was my goal. I wanted a gold coin.
Ooh, shiny.
You managed to
Yeah.
get it on a very. You managed to win it off him on a very close hand. Like literally, like yeah, you both have straights. Yours is one card better, basically.
We both have 4 aces, but mine all happen to be from the same deck.
I don't think the cheating is that flagrant, honestly. It's more, it's more fun when it's subtle. Where the only people who know that there's cheating going on are the people at the table, as opposed and everyone else just thinks it's normal.
Yeah,
Cito breaks out into a Bardcore cover of The Gambler.
Bardcore.
I was gonna say Bardcore is a pretty that's a
It's a thing. It's fun.
Oh boy.
Gosh. Oh gosh. Well,
it's basically making old timey sounding cover.
Oh,
right.
that's what they're calling it. Gosh.
Yeah, Bardcore. Yeah.
Oh, well.
It rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
I know that there are probably much more accurate ways of describing it, but yeah.
All right. But yeah.
Anyway, I won the gold coin. That was the goal. I made 1 goal tonight.
Is there anything else anybody else wants to do before the party wraps up? I would like to know.
Steve's going to make a pass at the captain just to kind of check.
Fair enough.
She's gotten kind of a hint, but she's not certain.
She again seems appreciative of the attention, but is also she says, "I appreciate the thought, but I'll have to pass. Thank you."
All right.
Because you don't have any legs. She's a leg lady. That was my problem too. Mine are too short.
I don't know why I find that so funny.
I feel like that's actually offensive.
Might be offensive. I think it's kind of hard to know, but I think that
I think that was actually offensive, but I'm just too not a mermaid to actually get mad about it.
Yeah, no, I totally vibe with what you're saying. It's it seems like in that context it might be, but we'll never know because
I'm wait a minute.
All I know is the final scene of the pirate party is just Injir being carried by some of the pirates. He's got a pirate hat on. He's got alcohol in both hands.
The only thing that Cameron would be interested in doing is chatting up the card shark after the game's done.
Oh sure. After the game wraps up, you want to talk to him. The pirates will leave the table. He's sitting there, going, I guess I did pretty good tonight. Not bad. I got lucky tonight.
Luck nothing. That was good.
He actually grins at you. You guys did spot it. Well done.
Well, no, how long you been here for, man?
Oh, I've been here in the village. At least
on this island, village, whatever.
On the island, yeah, basically about a decade.
Decade?
Yeah. Yeah, the captain of the merchant ship I was working on decided that fleeing into the storm was better than being taken by a pirate crew. Might have been. Don't know. We lived. At least I did. Most of the crew lived, I think. Most people who made the shipwreck ended up in Karahuta. I decided from what I heard about this village here, it sounded like it was more fun.
I was
right until the pirates. I was right even when the pirates came.
Yeah, well, I take it that the pirates are a little better, a little better at their hands than whoever the other
they
villages
are
were.
much better challenged at cards. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So what sort of stuff did your merchant ship run?
Mostly totally legal cargoes.
Right. Totally legal, huh?
Uh-huh.
No one runs totally legal cargoes. There's always a little bit outside.
Oh no! The captain was very sure to make sure that our cargoes were completely above board and legal. Absolutely, nothing hidden below the hold. Nope, nothing at all.
Listen, man, your sarcasm is about
very suspiciously specific.
Listen, I mean, I didn't ask what the legality of your was. I asked what they were. So
it varied widely, honestly.
Sure.
No, in all honesty, the captain was a smuggler, but he did a fair dab trade at just actual cargo hauling too. But
the real money's in goods that people need, really transferred across seas, really incognito right now.
Or they don't want to pay taxes on, say, Cardul, for instance.
I'm going to assume that that the people that were after you were Cardul privateers or something.
Might have been hard to tell at that point. They were flying a pirate flag, so
Right. So
and nobody likes paying taxes or tariffs or whatever else they've got.
And for as long as you've been here, no one's gotten off the island at all, right?
Nope.
Or at least no one who's gotten off. Yeah.
Well, we've got no proof of anyone getting off successfully.
Right. I was gonna say.
So it's possible, I guess, someone might have, but the last person.
But how are they going to get word back?
There's that. I mean, the last person who tried built a fairly sturdy. It's a fairly stout boat, actually. Sort of small sailing boat. They went out and harvested all the materials themselves. They were shipwright by trade.
Mm-hmm.
They sailed out. About a month later, the wreckage of their boat came floating back to shore.
I mean, maybe they like Cameron just like, well, maybe they set the rest of the ship back as a sign that they made it.
Yeah.
That's how ship pieces work, right?
Yeah,
they just go back where they came from.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah. Well, it's still kind of hopefully things can get a little better if we can establish a set of trade between this and the other village.
Yeah, trade's always good.
And honestly,
trade leads opportunities.
Mm-hmm. And to be fair, I don't think there's really much to be gained by having a real power struggle here. I mean, look, there's a lot of resources that are limited here. Most notably people, and any sort of conflict will mean that set of resources will diminish over time, and that's going to be good for no one.
I'd agree.
So,
I admit I'd like to see less violence and more opportunities to play cards with people.
Right.
Maybe opportunities to make a few, whatever's passing for currency around here.
Yeah.
Dealing under the table occasionally here and there.
For sure.
Like shells.
Yeah, I get why. Like, it's hard to, especially given that given that the gold mines were taken over by the lizard folk.
Mm-hmm.
Who've been a righteous pain in the ass for a lot of people. It's not just the gold mines. The problem is they've cut down on the hunting grounds too by taking over that area.
Right.
They don't like people trespassing in what they consider their land. But yeah, I get why they switch over. Why they use the shells.
Mm-hmm.
Any particularly sort of honestly, it's not that different than just using gold. I mean, or silver, or what have you. It's
sure. It's a resource.
It's a resource that's not super easy. That's not super plentiful, and can be easily traded and is portable.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, the value of any property is arbitrary and is a product of our imagination. So, really, any means that we can use to establish its value is valid under any form of governance. But
Just looking at you like you're fucking crazy.
macroeconomics aside,
I mean, you can argue that the value is intrinsic to the amount of work put in to create the goods.
that is true.
Guys, gold is gold. It is shiny and pretty, and you could use it to be shiny and pretty.
Sure.
Ice is also shiny and pretty under the right circumstances. Is that valuable?
And then Glix flaps his black wings and goes, "Caw!"
The only other question I really have is, do you know of any other information about the ruins on this island, of anything of interest from them?
I hear tell they're cursed.
Well, I mean, that's only making them more enticing. You have to understand.
The tales I've heard is that they're haunted. Honestly, by spirits of those who lived here before us. Might be a giant pile of hogwash, honestly, but I'm not one to go investigate it myself. Take a risk at it. I mean, ghosts are a real thing; they exist, so it's possible.
Well, I'm not afraid of any of that sort of stuff.
You
but
ain't afraid of no ghosts?
No, hardly. The only other question I have before we get going is, and then Cameron will just sort of pull out his pistol and ask the usual question of anyone who's seen a bunch of stuff. Have you seen anyone or dealt with any sort of trade that with objects that look like this, as he points to the prism in the chamber?
Actually, yeah. He looks at it. That crystal looks like there were a couple of crystals that Captain was smuggling out to the There was a wizard out the Academy Island that was trading in archaeological goods that were not supposed to be dug up just yet. They claimed to by other places and didn't want the Academy knowing he was collecting them.
So as I suspect, this is effectively an archaeological good.
Oh yeah, I would guess so. That's what I understand about it. It was from some dig out in out near the Shattered Kingdoms, from what I understand.
Right. Fair enough. Well, that's a good answer as any. What's your name, by the way? You just come up with any random name. It's fine.
Yeah. Hans.
Cameron. Good playing with you.
Yeah, you too.
Here's a bit extra for the fun, and Cameron will flip 2 or 3 silver his way.
He says, "I'll take that as a payment for the information."
Sure thing.
You two have a good night. He gets up.
You too.
All right.
He gets up and goes wandering off, humming a tune.
That's an actual answer.
As a brief aside, I have been basing some of my goblin psychology on crows. So,
I think that's a general rule of thumb if people think for you in this case, not just for Glix, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Which gets to just be mine.
Yeah. So Cameron's just like, well, if I want to find any more information about my gun here, we're gonna have to look at some archaeology stuff, which does mean those ruins might have something of worth. But for now, we got to finish our first job. Yeah.
It sounds like clearing out those lizardmen might be another favor we could do for folks around here, seeing as Talia seems to be all up on that.
And in your case, you won't even accept payment for it, because you'll just steal whatever you can from the mines, won't you?
Yeah, exactly. It's a literal gold mine. It's just sitting there in the walls.
Yeah. Watch.
Glix is going to be so disappointed to realize he has to actually use a pickaxe to get out of the walls. Cameron's just like, listen, okay, like 5 out of 10 chance is all pyrite, and you're just gonna be so disappointed when you try to actually spend on anything.
Yeah, you can spend pyrite too if you can find the right fool.
As long as you know that it's pyrite, then I guess it's fine. But listen, we'll listen. We'll burn that bridge while we're building it. All right?
That sounds like it appropriately. How did you pick up on so many goblin idioms?
Pyrite and pyrite are very close together.
Burn that bridge, we're building it.
Cameron will just laugh a bit. kind of curious. I say, were there goblins back in Cameron's time?
Of course there were.
Yeah. So Cameron's like, listen. Listen. There were people other than humans back when I grew up. So.
And not too many people know goblin idioms. That's all.
Listen, listen. When you're in a fraternity, when you're in a dormitory, you get to get exposed to a lot of stuff really quickly. So
now I'm just imagining Cameron going to like the goblin version of Tijuana and having to escape.
I just like to think of like Cameron having been in a dormitory and just having like a cosmopolitan like collection of people on the floor of the dormitory, and that's where he's picked up a lot of his sort of like ease of being around others,
Sure.
and such like that. Also, just leads to explaining part of why he knows how to play cards. It's like,
well, yeah,
the one goblin down the hall.
You went to a military academy. Of course, you know how to play cards.
Yes, but anyways, the
fact you know how to cheat is the goblin.
Yes. Anyways, I think that's good for the night for me.
That's fine. Is there anybody else got anything, or do we want to fast forward to the morning?
I'll make one last polite pass at the captain just to make sure, and then I'll go to bed.
Yep. Again, she seems appreciative, but very much not interested.
I guess I'll just go and cry myself to sleep from loneliness.
I'm sorry to hear that, but just don't be too loud. You don't want to keep people up.
Shit, I like you so much.
She laughs.
Cito is
have
going
a good night,
to. Cito is going to attract as much attention to herself with her finale as absolutely possible.
Oh, you definitely got a crowd going. The pirates and the villagers do appreciate a good show, so.
And Cito appreciates the attention.
I figured.
And as posted in the thread, this Injure is just lit and having the time of his life.
I'm concerned that such a small dragon has consumed so much alcohol.
I imagine that at some point during the night there was a scene where you know how like people will go out and take like shots of like alcohol and do like fireballs. He just lets out a big. He uses one of his fire breath attacks. Nearly burns down a house.
Yes. But yes, it is late, it is night, it is morning, it is a new day.
Are we going to count that as a long rest?
Absolutely, although Injure, you do have a bit of a hangover.
Oh, yes.
Since you definitely imbibed more than you probably should have.
Bye.
Don't you have create water?
He has shape water.
Mm.
You can turn it into a noodle before he drinks it.
He's got his own sippy straw. Got it.
Yeah.
Honestly, what he probably does is he takes the coconut and he like reduces the water, makes it into cream, just making pina coladas.
At any rate,
I like to imagine he's just like he's just like lying down on his face, head on the floor, and there's just like a bucket in front of him, and he just like makes the water just kind of like come right out, just like into his open maw.
Additionally, when you're recovering from a hangover, the bucket is not for water.
Fair enough.
But yes, you were able to find Captain Durlin down on the docks, looking at the boats there.
Everyone's in some form of post-party funk, except Kalia, because she didn't party, because she hates everyone.
I mean, Cameron just didn't drink, so he doesn't trust. He doesn't trust
Glix
any
is
alcohol.
absolutely drinking. Glix as like he definitely has his hat pulled down over his eyes.
Yeah.
Durlin looks very, very much not hungover or anything like that, but very annoyed about something.
Well, that seems to be the problem, Captain.
Feels wrong that I'm going to be walking to the village. to Karahuta.
Uh-huh.
I'm a bloody pirate captain. I should go on a ship or at least a boat. I
Yeah.
don't trust any of these to make the actual trip safely.
Uh-huh.
And the local shipwright apparently sailed off to try to escape through the storms circling the islands. Didn't make it back.
Yeah, I would say.
Do you know if there are anybody? You didn't happen to hear if there was anybody who knows shipwright stuff over in the Karahuta?
Off the top of my head, I'm thinking.
I'm sure that there are. I mean, there are former sailors over there, so
Yeah,
I can say I did not write anything to that regard in our notes.
you guys, she was not expecting a yes.
They got a decent brewer over there.
That's a plus. Yeah, he made that swill you brought, didn't he?
Yeah, it's good.
Well, if they've got a shipwright, that's definitely a thing. Definitely a big point in their favor. That we.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely something I could make use of. Just make trading with them easier. Just be able to sail up and instead of having to quarter over the goddamn road.
Yep.
Instead of having to deal with the murder chickens and
yeah. I mean, yeah, they're predatory fish. You might have to worry about a shark here and there, but like, I'm used to that. Even if they're big sharks.
Yeah. Sure.
And they don't. From what I understand, they don't tend to come too far inland. So you see something like you need at least a decent trireme or something. Like, these are dinghies.
a wooden lash. I heard that phrase somewhere once.
Anywho, I guess we got to get going if we're gonna make it to the village before nightfall.
Yep.
Fair enough. By the way, Captain.
It's so wrong to go. It's so wrong for me to be walking there. Ah.
By the way, Captain.
Yes. Sorry.
I couldn't help but notice. That rapier of yours looks really nice.
Yes.
How did you come across it?
Gift from my father.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just curious about it.
As an aside, yes, anyone who looks at it notices that it is a very fine rapier.
Yeah.
Might even would almost be called masterwork.
Right. Considering the relations between Cardul and Soltash, excuse me, just wondering if there's any influence of Soltash smithing techniques.
Not on this particular rapier, no.
Okay.
Yeah, none of you really recognize the it. I'll say this word. It looks to you. Doesn't look like it was either made by either anyone from Soltash or from Cardul.
Is there anything about it that is familiar to Cameron in terms of design?
Give me a history check.
You got it. Let's see. Come on, history. 19.
Ooh,
that's very good. Yeah, there are definitely some. There are not a lot of them. But there are definitely some dwarven elements in the work on it.
Yeah, Cameron will just like openly comment on that point. There, it's like, huh? Did your father deal with dwarves much?
Yes, actually, matter of fact, there's a good eye. Yeah, she holds it up. It's a dwarven make. My father had a good trade relation with a fairly well known dwarven blacksmith in one of the nearby dwarven hold near Cardul. They're one of the few holds that has a non-contentious relationship with Cardul, shall we say? Which honestly surprises me. Most of the dwarven holds have a decidedly deserved contentious relationship with Cardul. She rolls her eyes a bit at that.
Not a fan of your homeland, eh?
Not of elements of it. They're a little bit too how would you put it? Aggressive, I guess. Expansionistic, imperialistic, maybe.
Yes, imagine that. Just going to some other people and taking over everything like it's always belonged to you.
Oh, don't worry. The irony of my chosen profession is not lost on me. I am a hypocrite. I will freely admit this. I'll put it this way, though. At least I don't enslave the people I take stuff from.
Right. I've heard about that.
Well, you can. In theory, you can buy. You can earn your freedom from. You can earn your freedom.
Yes. Just spend enough, whatever.
You just. There are ways. There are rules about slaves, and they do have opportunities to earn money to buy their own freedom.
Mm.
And
How much
there have been
interest
many
they
who
have to
have
pay
done
on
so, who have done that, and then gone on to become full-fledged citizens of Kardul.
Yeah, I can tell you believe that, like 100%.
Oh no, it's happened. I've known a few. It's just not as common as they'd like you to believe.
As an aside, this is like Greek style slavery, not like chattel slavery.
Roman style.
Okay.
Roman slavery. Yeah,
I will say flat. Okay, Kardul is very much has a lot of Roman influences, and I'm just gonna say that outright. Just so just a little bit less. Well, no, it's a lot like Rome. It's complicated.
Yeah. All right. But
just that the leadership is would be largely described as lawful evil.
Yeah.
So Rome, gotcha.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it depends on the period, but yes.
But yeah, so Cameron's just like, well, that's just quite interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
Let's just get going.
Yes, absolutely. You are absolutely correct, Kalia, right?
Kalia looks disgusted as she turns to walk and get going.
She's like that with everyone.
Oh no, I have earned most of the looks of scorn I've earned over the years. I freely admit this. We should get moving.
Said disgust seems to start happening when she started talking more about Kardul. So
fair enough. And you set out. Barnes remains behind to keep an eye on basically be in charge of the town guards, because that's sort of his main job.
Right.
Also to continue to enforce in the absence of the captain, as is the first mate's damn job.
Yes, as a matter of fact. The former village elder is coming with you, as are a couple of other members of the village leader, the former village leadership. Although you get the impression that while they're not technically in charge anymore, you do notice that Captain Derlin does occasionally, while they're doing prep stuff, she does ask. Looks like she asks the former elder for his opinion on a few things, suggestions and the like.
He has been around this area much longer than she has,
yes.
So that tracks.
She definitely seems like not a stupid. So
yes, that is the one. Like, I will definitely say this: she may not be the nicest person, but she is definitively not an idiot.
She doesn't seem to be blinded by ego.
Not blinded by it, no.
Motivated, perhaps, but not blinded.
Her vision's occasionally obscured by it.
Fair enough.
It occasionally provides partial cover to obstacles in her way.
Well said. But so the traveling party sets out. The party is now even more well armed and guarded. So, if you do run into any murder turkeys or chickens, as Eric would put it, they kind of mostly avoid you. None of the predators seem particularly interested. It's like, that's a large group, and we know those shiny, pointy things are bad.
Mm.
There's easier prey out there. And you are able to make it back to the village by basically, and you don't have to worry about the local pirates attacking you either. Hey.
Wonder why that is.
I can't imagine. But you do, in fact, return to Karahuta village. Hooray! The villagers are surprised to see you traveling with the pirates and are a little bit on edge about this, but they let you in. But you do notice that the local, guards / town watch, whatever you want to call them, there's at least a sizable group that moves with you as you travel as the pirates travel through the village.
Right. I imagine the presence of the prior elder does kind of put them at slight ease, but not tremendously. It's like, okay, this seems to be a diplomatic effort as opposed to something else.
They're not attacking on sight. Let's put it that way.
Right. Yeah.
as well move to the village map. And the captain, you are met not long after by one of the village warriors who is a large. You've seen him before. You've heard him referred to as, his name is Maka. He is the war leader. He walks up, a very very nicely made spear in one hand, shield slung over his back. Walks up, stops, looks at you, looks at the party, looks at Captain Derlin, sighs. To what do I owe the pleasure of the captain of the nearby village's arrival? He says, looking at the party.
So,
After
we went and had a bit of a conversation with knives, and then we had a conversation with words, and we think we might be able to work something out that's amenable to all parties.
He looks up at Derlin, and she just grins at him. He turns. Go let the elder know that the Captain Derlin of the pirate crew is here to negotiate. Aye, sir. The guard runs off. We'll wait here until we'll wait here until we hear word from the elder what she wants, how she wants to handle this. Derlin nods.
And Jerk just kind of pipes up. Don't the pirates call it parlay?
That is a term for it, yes. Negotiate, parlay, reaching an accord. The exact wording doesn't matter as long as an actual deal is struck. A few minutes later, but after that she goes back to sort of standing there, a faint grin on her face, sort of humming a jaunty tune under her breath. That is very slightly off key.
Tito has to kind of like struggle with herself to not passively aggressively correct it by humming it on key.
It is actually infuriatingly just off key. Like, it'd be worse if she was actually more off key. It'd be better if she's more off key than she is.
Oh, good. It's the uncanny valley of off key.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. I'm almost certain it's intentional.
She's like,
Given that description, yeah.
A little bit later, it takes a few minutes. About
like,
5.
It's like Vanilla Ice doing it.
About 5 to 10 minutes later, the guard comes back and says, "The village elder will see you now, Captain." Captain nods. Tally ho! And you arrive at the elder's cottage. The elder is sitting on her chair. And the captain strides forward, but stops a respectful distance away from the elder. And as she gets closer, she looks over at Maka, unbuckles her rapier, and hands him the blade. Keep an eye on that, would you? And then that's before she walks up to a respectful distance and stops, bows to the elder, and says, "I believe we should have some words about. It has been suggested to me, I should say, that it might be better if we were to reach an accord of some sort. It might be better if we had fewer enemies on this island and more. Well, friends is the wrong term given the foot we got off on, but at least people are willing to work together." The elder arches an eyebrow. Really? Well, yes. I'm afraid I've fallen into patterns of habit that probably not the smartest. And that causes me pain to admit that, but at least it's worth discussing. Are you interested in discussing such? The elder sort of leans back in her chair, crosses her arms. You know, Captain, you have cost us a fair bit over the past few months. I have, and I'm willing to make amends if it means we can reach something resembling normalization of trade at least. All right, I'm willing to talk. If you're willing to accept the fact that it'll be you, me, and my guards, no one else. Derlin smiles wryly. I figured as much.
Considering the presence of the former elder and his, while he hasn't, directly spoken that, outright to Cito, she's kind of picked up on the idea that he seems okay with Derlin taking over. Cito is going to propose that his presence be included, seeing as how, he knows that village, better than anyone here.
Okay. The elder will sort of pause, look over at Cito. I'm amenable to that, Captain. Oh, absolutely. There's a reason I brought him with me. I'd propose it myself, but you seemed insistent, so I figured it was not worth broaching. But I'm glad Cito suggested that. Then very, very well. She gestures to the elder, and he steps forward. He hands the knife he's carrying off to Maka. Maka's like, okay, sure. And they nod and they head inside, followed by a few of the elder's guards.
A few moments later, a man with a bad Russian accent comes in and says, "You, get him his sword."
Oh, yeah. And it worked, too.
Yeah.
At which point, Maka turns to you guys and says, "Well, this is not what I expected to see, but might be for the best long term. I suppose I should put the captain's rapier somewhere safe, and the right. Well, thank you."
And Jir just gives a big old bow, and he almost falls over, but he manages to stay up.
Cito catches him with the back end of her tail.
I'll admit, I was surprised when this worked out this way too.
I will admit,
I can be very persuasive.
That may be, but I'm also partially surprised that the captain is as skilled, has as much of a head on her shoulders for diplomacy as she seems to. I've not met any pirate captains over the years that did.
After a frank exchange of views with one of the patrols, we had some words with them and came to have a bit of an understanding about the captain and her first mate. And from there, it seemed actually quite feasible to come to terms.
Oh, sure. It's more that the fact that she willingly handed off the sword and she has an air about her that I was not expecting. Is sort of more what I'm saying. I'm surprised by how, not that what she's doing, but how she's doing it. That is all.
She's a cutie.
Mako blinks a few times. I guess. Anywho, thank you for your assistance. I suspect it's possible the village elder may call for some of you as witnesses to find out what you all saw and heard. But as long as you stay within the village, that shouldn't be a problem. Thank you again. I'm gonna go.
Certainly, I'll not be far, and Cito will. She'll get her harp this time.
He goes wandering off to one of the nearby guardhouses with the captain's rapier and dagger. All right.
I'm gonna head over to the eating hall and drink something. Need to rehydrate some more.
So,
Cito will ask if someone bring something at her. She's going back. She's going to state that she's going to about the squarish area and resume performing. she's keeping an eye on the captain's goods without being obvious about it. Basically, just like tracing, where the person goes, etc. Making certain it gets there.
Yep. All right. Right. Just so you guys know, what's going to be happening is each of you are going to be called in individually to report what you saw and your take on the situation.
Oh boy.
Yep. Nope. And I'm going
should we leave like the call while this happens?
No, there's no need. I trust you guys to be able to not take advantage of meta knowledge what each other has said. If you choose to, if you rather leave the call while someone else is speaking, you are entitled to do so. But that is up to you. And I'm going to determine what order is going to be happening with a D6 I'm holding in my hand.
Nice.
I'm not going to roll in game. I'm going to roll out here.
And if you roll a D6,
re-roll.
If you roll a 6, Bob gets interviewed first.
Ah, yes. How quickly I forget.
I'm going to re-roll. I'm going to re-roll the 6s, by the way. All right. So first up will be Cito. So you are, as you're performing, someone comes up. One of the guard comes and says, "Miss Cito, the elder would like to speak with you."
I didn't expect that it would take that long. Lead the way.
You are led back to the cottage. You are shown in. It is clear that there has been a break in negotiations. The captain is. You see her off to having gone off to one side to sitting down with some refreshments. And the elder sits there as, "I would like to hear." So, Miss Cito, I would like to hear from you your impressions of the captain, the village, and what happened, and the situation.
Very well. Our first encounter was with a local patrol. The crew of the captain spoke in a rather respectful tone rather than one of fear or backstabbing disdain. That's what opened the door to this negotiation in the first place, was her own reputation amongst her crew. Our initial encounter, I suppose one could describe it as, was the journal of her first mate, Mr. Barnes, who we have since returned that journal to from the other island, and he is a man of distinction, I have come to determine. The good captain seems to operate by her own set of order and standards, and she expects others to do so as well. And those who do not violate the law as she purports are treated well, fairly, and with decency.
Interesting. And your thoughts on the feasibility of what's happening, and what thoughts on what this actual situation and the feasibility of it?
I'd not have presented the idea to First Mate Barnes in the first place if I did not think it feasible.
And since you were the one who presented the idea, you think it strikes you as a equitable idea, at least.
Absolutely. The pirates are martially capable, they're resourceful, and with the combined efforts of the village, I feel that both villages would be better protected from the threats of the island itself and more capable of dealing with any situation that may arise, as opposed to a more disagreeable set of affairs as they currently are elsewise heading.
Interesting. Well, thank you for your time, Miss Yuto. I will bear that in mind.
Certainly.
The guard shows you out.
Hmm.
All right. Next up is going to be Cameron. So you are approached by a guard who says to you, Cameron, that the village elder would like to speak with you briefly.
Sure. Let's do this.
You are escorted back to You're escorted back to the village's the elder's cottage. You are shown in. She is, as much like I mentioned to Cito, she is currently sitting there with a couple of her guards, but the captain is off elsewhere in the domicile, sort of just out of earshot. Mr. Cameron, So I would like to hear sort of your sort of impressions of the pirates, the captain, your thoughts on the proposed arrangement, negotiations, and such, and sort of the general situation.
Well, Cameron then fishes out his journal, flips it over to where he's been just taking notes, and even like presents the notes if anyone wants to just look at them. The Cameron will just sort of surmise a few points. He's not going to go like too wildly off script from what Cito kind of aligns, but his main difference in approach is going to be saying the pirates that are here seem to be pragmatic enough that they recognize that there is going to be some limit of what can be done with what they have. They also seem to have a really high regard for their own sense of order, which makes them less likely to kind of engage in completely unruly behavior. The captain seems to have a strong grip over the crew. Granted, that means that if anything were to happen to the captain, that could cause a power vacuum, which could create some problems unless the first mate is able to keep things in check. As far as I can tell, as for the arrangement and agreement here, it's kind of a tough. It's tough to say. Because on the one hand, I think there's definitely a lot of advantages that can be brought by collaborating. And on the other, there's just the sheer fact that, well, in other societal contexts, we're dealing with people who have killed others, who have engaged in other crimes, whether it is on someone's livelihood, property, or otherwise. And this arrangement effectively provides no repercussions or even amends to be made for those actions. And that can certainly be, I think, difficult to wrangle with. So I have a feeling that there might be people within your own community who will look at this and scoff at it as being as rewarding people who have acted up until now in less than ideal manners. So I would not be surprised if some repairing is going to need to be done and extra gestures might be necessary. It may not be from your perspective, but it might be from some. And given the locale, given how isolated we all are here, the morale and trust of everyone in these communities is of high importance in order to have its stability.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your thoughts on this. I'm trying to get as many viewpoints of people who are there as possible.
I will add that I'm not opposed at all to the proposed solution. It was the least violent solution that minimized any risks to the non-crew members of the other village. Which is, I think, one of the big reasons why we went through with it, was to ensure the safety for as many people as possible. I'm just noting a possible complication that might arise from it.
All right. Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate your thoughts. Thank you. Next up is Glix.
Oh, no. All right.
So, Glix, you are approached by one of the guards who says the village elder would like to speak to you.
All right, let's go.
You are shown in, and the village elder says, Mr. Glix, I would like to hear your thoughts on the pirates, your impressions and thoughts on the pirates, the captain, her first mate, the situation in the other village, and your thoughts on the proposed solution to the situation, or treaty and such, or trade deals or what have you, and the feasibility thereof, and your sort of thoughts on just the situation in general.
Well, first thing you got to know about the captain, she's almost as smart as she is pretty. So you got that. And because she brought that village elder along. She's been listening to him about how to run things and make things proper. She's still a pirate. She's still gonna murder if you step out of line. But she can't. She sticks up for her people, so that seems to work pretty well. They all like her.
Okay.
2, this is really the best option that doesn't involve a whole lot of blood, and I don't think you guys can take them and still remain viable as a village. You might win, but you're gonna have a lot of casualties.
I see.
3, she's, I mean, she's a pirate, but she's also a merchant. She knows how to work deals. And she'll stick to them. She seems to have like this whole like honor code thing. So you're gonna have that going for you. And 3, she really wants a ship. If you guys got a ship right in here, that's a big thing you can hold over her.
That's good to know. We do.
Yeah,
Interesting.
she's gonna want that. You're gonna get a lot out of her doing things that way.
That's good to keep in mind. She didn't mention that.
Well, of course she didn't mention that. She's gonna keep that under her vest until she's ready to pop it out. That came out a lot more sexual than I intended. Tends to happen when I'm thinking about that captain. Seriously, she is cute.
I
He's
see.
got legs up to here, holds them up to his chin.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Glix.
No problem. Another thing, if the captain gives you trouble, you might be able to get in with her boy Barnes. He's really loyal, and he'll probably take over if something happens to her. Not saying you should do anything to her, because, like I said, she's really cute and smart and ruthless. So she'd see it coming.
She does seem sharp, I will grant. Well, again, thank you, and you give me things to think on.
No
All right.
worries. Hope you'll keep that in mind for later.
All right, next up is Kalia.
All right.
You are approached by one of the village guards. Says the village elder would like to speak to you.
Kali will nod and follow.
You are shown into the cottage. The elder is on her own with some of her guards nearby. The captain is off somewhere else in the place, out of earshot. So, Kalia, I'd be interested to hear your take on the pirates, the pirates, their captain, the situation at the village, and this whole deal that's being proposed, and your take on the situation. I want as many fresh eyes on this that were present as I can get.
As far as I am concerned, the pirates are butchers. Their captain is a tyrant. How reasonable she is in terms of, and how fair her treatment of those who have remained in the village underneath her has been, she still sees to it that she remains in charge, and her crew do the same. The solution that we came to before approaching her, on the grounds of negotiation, still remains the best that I can see to this point. Any other course of action, one that results in violent conflict, will cause unnecessary suffering. If she is as reasonable as she puts herself forward to be, and I must admit, coming here and agreeing to go unarmed into negotiations shows that she is, when it suits her, willing to give up that stranglehold that she tries to hold over power in any given situation. If she continues to act in that form, then this will, in the long term, be the best solution to things. That said, I do not trust her. If the situation changes into one in which she could more reliably and fully take control of the situation, if it were to benefit her, I believe that she would do so.
Makes sense.
My usual way of dealing with things in this situation is to permanently remove the problem. either by location or by killing the source of the problem. But I am not so blind as to believe that that is the best solution in this case. I will not bring harm to her crew if it means bringing harm to the innocents that surround her, who, it frustrates me to admit, but I understand why, seem to be accepting of the situation. There are, from what I understand, benefits to her presence in the village.
Interesting.
If everyone continues to act in a way that benefits themselves and others, then things will be fine. But that is not how people act. Eventually, something will come up, I feel, that leads to the balance of power shifting. And at the very least, if the captain or her first mate, if something were to befall them, if they were removed from a situation, if they were grievously injured or killed, I think that things would immediately become chaotic. By her own admission, some members of her crew are not as easy to bring to the point of negotiation. Also, she rather impulsively dealt with one who objected to the terms of peace by killing him, which made things easier for us, but is an indication, I think, of the type of personality that we are dealing with.
Interesting. It's good to know.
All that being said, I would not have continued with this course of action if I still did not feel that this is the best course for right now.
Definitely think something to keep in mind. Yeah, I largely agree that I do not fully trust her, but it seems like it's at least an improvement of the previous situation. And as long as we keep an eye on things and prepare for somewhat potentially inevitable betrayal, it's probably a good idea. It seems like at least a good first step.
One alternative that it did occur to me, but we do not yet have any solid course of action to pursue in this manner. If my allies and I are able to find a way to leave this island, I think it would be best to take the captain and as much of her crew as possible with us. There are more reliable means of dealing with her crew than can be dealt on this island.
Well, it's food for thought, at least.
I believe that, given that they resorted to raiding and pillaging despite the fact that they had no ship, shows that they are the type that do not wish to remain on land permanently. So, this might be something that they would agree to rather easily. That is, however, making the grand assumption that we are able to discover that which we seek.
Indeed. Well, thank you, Kali. I appreciate it. Give me much to think on. Yep. Well, I'll let you get back to what you were doing, and I got one more person to talk to.
Yeah, she's got a full day of glowering at people to get back to. So.
I just want to point out that Injir is very happy about being called in the last. That's even like a little bit of time to take a nap and sleep off the thing over.
Anyways, yes, Injir, you are approached by one of the guards. Same deal as everybody else. Injir.
Yes.
I
Are you ready?
am interested. I've been speaking to everybody, to your fellow crewmates, fellow members, fellow adventurers, about the. I want to hear outside viewpoints on the viewpoints of people, of you from you who were there. So your takes on the pirates, their captain, the first mate, situation in the village, and your thoughts on the proposed remedy to the situation, and just the thoughts on the situation in general. I'd like to hear this.
So Injir is sitting on the floor and he's stroking his chin, and then he says, "Before I proceed, has the captain proposed any sort of terms?"
We've discussed broad generalities at the moment. I wanted to get outside opinions on her before I move forward further.
I see. So she hasn't asked for anything specific.
Not yet, no. Nor have I asked anything specific from her either. We've agreed that the idea of a general ceasefire, as it were, and establishing normalized trade relations is a good idea.
I see. If you're asking me to measure her character, I believe it is important for me to point out that while she has been very forthcoming about her willingness to negotiate this sort of thing between the villages, she only did so once a force superior to her own showed up at her front door. And when one of her men spoke up, she immediately killed him. This tells us right away that she's a very dangerous and calculating individual to begin with. This isn't necessarily something that we need to, disregard. She may be playing you. She may have plans of her own, or she may be simply considering making the best of what their situation is. That said, her second in command seems to be a little more forthright. He seems to be very loyal to her, but he's also much more reasonable. As to the crew themselves, at this point he kind of rubs his head. They seem to be a jolly fellows, but I would say they would be a little rowdy to deal with without some sort of means to control them. If either the captain or the first mate were gone, I don't know what the situation would turn into. These are not necessarily people that would just resume their, old ways the second they didn't have Big Brother and Big Sister or watching over their back. That said, our only way of getting the people out of the village right now is to proceed with negotiations. We may have to simply go through them in good faith until we achieve a position where another option may be suitable.
All right. I'm glad to hear your thoughts on that. That is definitely a useful information to have. Thank you.
And Sharon steps up, bows, and then you need anything else?
Not at the moment, thank you.
He turns tail and he heads back out.
All right.
I do appreciate that Injir was like, "Oh yeah, she knew we would have kicked her ass."
That's. I was kind of surprised somebody else brought that up. That was the first thing in his mind. Being, a dragon, he considers himself to be a superior being, and he's like, okay, the only reason why she's even doing any of this is because she knows if she doesn't, we're just going to kill her anyways. Doesn't necessarily mean that she's not acting in good faith, but it does mean that she has a motivation to act in this way.
Interesting. I've never gotten that vibe off of Injir before. So.
Yeah. That puts some things in perspective. And you're just like, sweetness is much more condescending now.
Yeah, it is Path of the Ascending Dragon. He is, he is becoming more dragon-like through his training and his experiences. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's not benevolent. He is related to a brass dragon. They're generally considered to be good dragons, but he is a dragon, and they are like that benevolence does come from a place of authority.
All right.
And as far as like no one's suggesting that she had her own that the captain was might be playing them. Like Glix pretty much came around and said she's a pirate, she's ruthless. That's information that you need to know that you probably already did. Keep it in mind.
I'm pretty pleased over here that the only person who didn't really take issue with any of her business was Cedo, because Cedo doesn't care. Just like,
Oh, no,
yeah.
The issue is that she's awesome, but if you're going to be dealing with her, you have to keep that in mind. You'd be dumb not to.
That's kind of how like Engineer sees it too. He's like from one dragon to another, you shouldn't trust a dragon.
At any rate, that's yeah. So the negotiations will continue for most of the rest of the afternoon and into the evening. Is there anything else you guys want to do around town of note?
Not
About
particularly.
About how much time do we have?
Well, you arrived sort of late afternoon, and it is now past mealtime. Mealtime will come and go before negotiations end.
If we have any if we have I guess I wouldn't say call it a super significant amount of downtime, Engineer is probably going to start cracking into that book he's had for God knows how long. And
okay, you'll get some work in on it. I can't go into it right now. But
yeah, that's how he's spending his time right now. He doesn't necessarily going to have any answers right now.
I will say the early part, if I remember correctly, this is the book you got from the Fire Dragon Temple.
Yes.
The early parts of the book are mostly stuff on sort of religious rituals for the Primal Dragon of Fire.
Still good things. This is still things that he would find very interesting. So
yeah.
He's having a good time.
Definitely dissimilar from what you're used to.
He's like, what the hell?
It's almost like it's a giant. That the giant red dragon is different than the giant water dragon. Go figure.
So Cedo is going to continue to do her performances in the middle of town.
Yep.
She's going to be using some suggestive lyrics to the tune of, getting along with thy neighbor and that kind of thing.
Why can't we be friends?
Tomorrow's another day, time heals wounds, etc.
Glix had a very full day yesterday, and then he had to walk through the jungle. So he's pretty much going to be relaxing, drinking various forms of fluids. Some may or may not be alcoholic, and playing casual games of Bajamanos.
Majamanos, I like that.
Nothing too strenuous. He's probably still slightly hungover.
Cedo didn't drink and evidently has like the highest con score here.
Well, it's kind of hard to drink a water-breathing mammal under the table.
All right. In that case, later in the evening, the captain and the elders emerged from negotiations. It's pretty clear that the captain has agreed to pay some restitution for the raiding. The exact details of which they're not discussing at the moment, but it is definitely there is going to be restitution paid for it. The captain acknowledges that yes, that is. I mean, she's the one who proposed that. Yeah, I probably owe you guys a little bit of restitution for the the actual details of which are not have not been brought up, and they've established a non-aggression pact and a trade deal, basically. And the captain is now heading off to the docks to apparently go talk to a shipwright. There's someone who knows how to make goddamn ships here. I'm gonna see if I can get a goddamn ship made. I know I can't sail out through the storm, but like, I want a goddamn ship.
I want a boat, damn it!
No, I don't want a boat. I want a ship. I have boats. At least I want
She
a
has
boat.
dinghies. She doesn't even have boats.
We have mini boat, no ship.
Hell, she'd take a trireme at this point, as she pointed out. It'd be an improvement. But yeah, they
She's holding out for a sloop, but you can't always get what you want.
no.
Galix is very much a landlubber, so he doesn't understand the distinction. He'll pretend he does, but he doesn't actually.
Funny thing, actually, I will say that Sita will kind of hang around by the shipwright thing and kind of like contribute to that conversation because she actually knows a thing or two about ships because her father was a raiser of ships.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will say this: it is pretty clear the captain knows her stuff too, and is
Mostly, this is Sito putting forward that she's not just a pretty face and talented fingers.
right. Yeah.
Both of which might still be valuable.
Uh-huh. Anyways, that is most of what I've got prepped for today, honestly.
Mhm.
So I am going to, I think, basically that's the rest of the evening. You still got a few days before the High Priestess arrives. You guys have other stuff if there's other stuff you guys want to be doing next session, let me know. There are definitely two other things you could look into, but we don't have to decide that right now. I'm gonna wrap the session up here, though. I think because as I said, unless there's things you guys want to do right now that we want to get out right now before I forget or bring up before we wrap up. But that's what I've got prepped for today.
I don't have anything else off the top of my head.
I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Injir's, doing his thing, and we already know that's going to take a little while to decipher.
Yeah.
Yep.
So no
Maybe
Injir right now.
check in and hang out with the captain. If she's not interested, he still thinks she's neat.
Mm-hmm.
But
once she's done negotiating, she's happy to socialize.
okay, yeah. Socialize and hang out with the captain a bit.
Fair enough.
She's neat.
She wants
She's
to get.
very dangerous.
Yes, she wants to get a better feel.
Very dangerous.
She's definitely. It's pretty clear she wants to get a feel for this village. So her experience of the village has been hearing from her men who've raided areas around it. So it's like, I probably should get to know what the people of the area I'm entering in a trade deal with. Oh, I'm having to assume actual responsibility outside of being a pirate captain. No.
Yeah, that's kind of why Sito's sort of hovering around her to kind of help facilitate that, as well as keep an eye on anyone who might get an ambitious idea for some reason.
That might be Kalia. She's not turning off the hate glares.
Oh, that's fair.
She spoke on
Oh,
behalf of this. She spoke on on behalf of this agreement, and she still is just like, "Fuck this lady."
I imagine Kalia is just kind of like showing up in the frame, and then it starts playing like the Halloween music.
Well, because Talia staring at everyone, the Kill Bill theme comes in.
Like, Glix is gonna start trying to talk up the captain again. She's gonna like be shaking her head at him. Like it's Glix, and she's still like, I can't believe you.
It's really funny that Glix and Kelly have just like two completely opposite reactions to the captain.
The longer we spend around this woman, the more in contrast our views of her seem to be.
But anyways, that's going to do it for this session, guys. Thank you, everybody, for... I hope you guys had fun.
Yep.
Bit of a shorter session, but that was sort of where I knew it was going to end up being that way this week. So next time, you guys have a couple of leads you could track down if you'd like. Let me know by Wednesday which you'd prefer. That gives me a couple of days to actually prep.
Roger.
Right.
Roger.
But yeah, that's going to do it for this week, folks. Next time will be... I suspect that the party will be adventuring out to do something out in the jungle somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, something.
Be it harassing lizardmen or investigating a ruin.
I mean, Glix is going to push for the gold mine because it's fucking gold. But I suspect we're going to end up going to the ruins.
We will see. Anyways, that's going to do it for this week, guys. Thank you for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, as I said at the start, we record Saturday afternoons, most Saturday afternoons, starting around 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m. Eastern. I upload usually Sunday or Monday afternoon onto YouTube. And if you like the episode, throw me a like, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell if you don't know when new episodes go live. And that's going to do it for this week, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.